Okay, today we're going to change out the pump, the feed pump on a Spectra Catalina 300 water maker. That's the feed pump right there on the left, the round thing, and that's the control box, and we're going to change the whole pump out with the valve at the bottom as well. So I've got a whole new unit I'm going to put in there. This should be interesting. Okay, first I'm going to try to disconnect the wires. Yeah, which you've got to cut the wires at the top. These are the wires for the feed pump. And you can't even see them. They're just lodged in there. And the install, it never has been changed before. This, here's got a ground wired way down here. You got to change that out. Got to get that disconnected. You can see there's no room, of course. You never have room for anything. And then you got the two wires that connect to the pump, and it goes into here, across there. Then another compartment. You got two compartments for this water maker. This is the other side with the filters, and then we have the big membrane over here with the Clark pump on the bottom, and then it goes in the other compartment where it just was. So we're gonna, and then here's two more filters over here. So we got three filters, and then the fourth filter, which was right here on the left, that's the carbon filter for the fresh water. So on the right, that's a 50 micron filter, and over here on the left we have a 20, and on the right we have a 5 micron filter. So we're going to change that thing out. Again, right there, you got to get the wires off first. Okay, so what we have to do now is somehow get down here and undo those connectors. Those are the water connectors, of course, and you can't get to them because they're in the bottom here. Yeah, that's always fun. So what you have to do, I gotta use a mirror to see under there. See under there. I have to use a mirror to see under there. And yeah, that's real good. Yeah, they've done a good job on that. Way back there, I gotta get that piece off. Okay, fun and games. Okay, yeah, you can't get the hoses off, of course, so I've got to try to get the fitting off the pump. That's a 22 millimeter wrench for some reason. Who knows what they do? They switch metric to imperial here, from imperial to metric. So yeah, we'll try to get that off. We'll see if this works. Okay, so here we're getting it off right there. That's about 10 minutes worth of work just to get it to that far. They didn't tell you that, you got to turn the fresh water off, of course, because it's under pressure. That's your fresh water system. So turn your fresh water off. You're going to get some water down there. But yeah, we're getting there. It'd probably take me another 5 minutes to get this thing off. So there you go. That's just one of them. There's another one to go. Okay, there's one of them off, one of the connectors for the water connector on the pump. You can see there's the size of the thread, so you got to work for quite a while to get that off. You loosen that, you can't get the hose off, so you just loosen the hose clamp and then undo that one. Now we got to get to the second one, which is way back there. Yeah, that's going to be fun too. Here we go. Okay, so nothing worked to get that back one off because it's got a T in there with the sensor and all that. So what you got to do is take this whole unit out of here, it looks like. Oh, yeah, if you're working on the boat, there will be blood, so don't worry about that. You just don't get it everywhere. So we got to take this whole box out in order to get to that hose in the back, and so make sure you loosen all the wiring so you don't rip that out as well. So we'll try to take the whole unit out now. Okay. What I'd recommend first is you try to loosen the pump bolts while you got it securely fastened there. And of course the bolts are 11 millimeter of all things. I would use metric on an American boat, but that's what they did. They used 11 millimeter there. So okay, we'll try to get just those things loosened a little bit because you can't get a socket in there. Another design feature. And then we'll get the whole panel off, hopefully. Okay, that's the box. It's off. It's held by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws, wood screws in there. And of course, when you take all the screws out, it doesn't even come out. So you pull real hard, and then it just flies off. So yeah, it's kind of normal. Another good design feature of the installation. So here we go. Now we're going to attempt to work on it. Here's the back of the panel. Here you got the expansion tank. And there's one of the sensors, which is in a really good location to put that sensor. You can never get to that unless you take the whole unit off again. Ah, that's great. They think of everything, don't they, on a boat? So, okay, here we go. That only took 45 minutes to get that box off. Yeah, we're doing good. Okay, another great design feature of the Spectra system. If you can see this is the pump on the left. The white connector, that's attached to the sensor. And you have to undo this black hose right here so you don't mess with that. And then I took the hose clamp off that. Of course, that white hose does not move. You know, you can't get that off there. So, I don't know, in their infinite wisdom, they put this thing on here. We're going to see if we can get that off of the pump. This is just great. So that's a 24mm wrench. Now they changed sizes, of course. I put a crescent wrench on the other side, and those two things should rotate independently. And then we can get that hose off, maybe. We'll see how that goes. Well, that didn't go well at all. So what happened, though, was the wires came off of the sensor, which is was attached right here. And so I had to just take the sensor out. That's pretty easy to get that out. Took the hose off here, and now we're going to rotate that off of there. But yeah, I don't know where those wires went. Have to figure that out later. So, okay. Okay. So this just came off of, I don't know, one of these two. It must be this one. It was the back one. Yeah, it came off of that one. The whole unit's like that. They put Teflon tape on everything. Okay. Now this is the ground wire, which I couldn't get off before, so I'm going to attempt to get that off now. But that's a little connector. Of course, it goes into that thing here. Okay. Okay, I had to loosen the, as I said, the green wire there, and I had to use that corrosion block to loosen it. It would not budge, so you put that on there and bang, popped right off. But unfortunately, the new pump doesn't have that fitting there. There's no place to put the ground, so I got to figure that out now. Change the part, of course. Okay, I got 3 of the 4 bolts off, and the 4th one, of course, is in an inaccessible place. Got these wires on top. I'm gonna clip these wires. There's 2 wires there, of course, to go with the pump, and then we can get to that one down there, the one last bolt. And I put a kayak pad in here, you know, a ripped old cushion. It's good for something on a boat. Then we put that in there to pad this thing, so it doesn't rip a hole anywhere. So I'm going to clip those 2 wires, get that wire out of the way, and then get that last bolt off. Okay. Okay, there's the pump. It's off now. It was that last bolt right there. That last bolt right there. Forever. 20 minutes to get that thing out. Of course, this thing was corroded. You had to use that corrosion block again. And you can't get that wrench in there. And you try it from the back with the screw, and that doesn't work. But eventually you play with it. Try not to strip the head of the screw, the bolt, with your Phillips screwdriver. Other than that, now it's apart. That only took what? Hour and a half to get it apart. That's not bad. You're right. Time for a beer. Okay, so here's the back of the panel with everything disconnected. And here's the hoses, of course, we disconnected. Now somehow we have to fit the pump. The pump's heavy, very heavy. We have to fit the pump back on there. And I don't know how I got to figure that out. And which order to put that on there. And here's the pump with the wires cut. There's the thing. See, this is where the green wire went. You can see, no, it's not even on a new pump. I don't know what we're going to do with that. But okay, there we go. So that's the original Spectra pump on the Catalina 300 MPC. Oh, and here's all the tools I used for the operation. If that helps you. You see this thing, this is a little socket thing that was useless because you couldn't get to those bolts with the socket thing, so you got to use this little guy here and try to get that in there to hold it, the 11mm. But yeah, and those are all the pieces we got to figure out where they go back to. Be careful with the crescent wrench, of course. You don't strip anything with that because it's not a tight fit. Make it as tight as you can. Here you go. Okay, here's my crew member. She's got it pointing to the new pump on the right the new Spectra feed pump, and on the left we have the old Spectra feed pump. We've taken them out now, and now we're going to put the one on the right, the black one, back in where we got it. We're going to go right in here, and that'll be in part 2 of the video, how to install a Spectra feed pump. Good luck. Okay, part 2. We're trying to put the new pump in there. Of course, I have to start with all those bolts. These hard to reach bolts. So I've got 3 of them in there now, and those were, well, 2 of them were easy, but the other one was not. Of course, on the inside you can't reach those. So what this one is, the last one, what I do is I wrap Teflon tape around the nut and put it into my 11mm wrench. When I do that, then I can slide that in there and hold that down here, and then I'll just screw that Phillips screw in there, and it works really well. So again, use that Teflon tape to hold that nut in your 11mm wrench. So we've got the new pump on the other side. On the left hand side, it's on the other side of the white panel. Here's all the fittings connected while it's still off of the wall. We've got the sensor connected hopefully properly, and this black wire, hopefully that's connected right. Again, this one is just connected. I just put the one on there. I still have to connect this one once I get this thing back up on the wall. Once I get it back up on the wall, then we can do this final hose and then see what else we have to do. Okay, here we go. Okay, here's the finished product. We got it all installed. The installation wasn't as bad as taking it apart, but of course there's the splices, the red and the yellow are spliced together on the original lines. That green wire that we were supposed to put on the pump before, that they were missing, that hole for it, it's a bonding wire. So you can put that on a bolt that holds the motor up. So you can do that, which is fine, they said. Or you can put it on the pump bolts, which are on the bottom of the thing. But yeah, I don't want to do that. That's really difficult to get to. So there's the pump, all installed. Again, it wasn't bad. Let's see, it took me how long? How long did it take me?
4 hours.
4 hours to do that. So here we go again. It took 4 hours to put that pump in. Not too bad, but it's a lot of work. And yeah, well, good luck. Good luck to everybody. Okay, we're going to take the Spectra water pump apart. This is the feed pump for a Spectra Catalina 300 MPC. We're going to take the feed pump apart, and it's comprised of 2 parts. That's my crew holding it, of course. And then we've got, on the bottom, you've got the pump itself, and on the top, where her hand is, you've got the motor. So somehow, those 2 pieces have to come apart. And at the bottom, it's pretty easy. There's only 4 bolts. Down here, we're going to take those bolts off, and we've got 3 of them off already, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, here we're going to take the pump part off. Take the last bolt off right there, put it over there. Now, you grab this and you just pull, and it comes right off just like that. And that's it. It's very simple to get that part off. It's the other part that's going to be a problem. Okay, we got to get those bolts out, or actually the 2 screws on the top. We've got 2 screws on the top. You can see them there, and they're welded on there. Or something, I don't know. I've used blaster on there. I've used, what's the other thing I used? The corrosion blocker to try to get those things off. And I'm trying to do that. So we got to get those things off to get the motor out. Once we get the motor out, then we can use the pump that's on the bottom with the new motor. And hopefully that'll work. So that's our next job.